Let's go over this one trick that would drastically improve your player progression in Dynasty College Football 25. There's one thing I have never covered in a video. It's going to be super useful for player progression, especially if you have guys that's maxed out in overall, or you just want guys to be more well-rounded. Let's get right into it. If y'all enjoying the content, like, comment, subscribe, check out the ebook and membership, and let's get into it. So at this point, we all know certain archetypes develop a lot better than other archetypes in this game, man. For example, you just come over here to safety, your hybrid safeties develop the worst in the game. Out of any other safety, out of the zone run support, the hybrid developed the slowest. Why? Because it's most expensive for him to level up. Well, guess what? What if you could change this guy archetype? What if you could change everyone archetype on your team, and it's not even during position change week? You would change it anytime during the year here, man. We also know slot corners are the best cornerback in the game. And then also, when we have a situation where the guy is maxed out, but say he's maxed out as an 80 overall, you bring in a 3-star, he maxed out as an 80, and he maxed out as an 80 overall zone corner. Well, you could now transition him into a slot corner. His overall will not reset, his attributes will stay the same, but his overall will get lower, and he'll have more opportunity to grow. And he'll be getting better, but just with a different archetype. So he'll be a 80 overall zone corner, but as a slot corner, he might only be a 75. So now you open his potential to get better. And like I said, his attributes will continue to go up. And we'll show y'all that in this video. So one of the best parts about slot corners is they develop evenly, man. So what if we could just convert everyone to a slot corner? And we can do just that here, man. So let's look at this guy. You see he got the man coverage 85. That's good enough. You know, that's good enough on the man coverage. But the zone coverage, super low, 69 on the zone. Elite speed, man corner. We know the zone is going to be tough to upgrade because that's how I usually go in this game, man. Man corners upgrade their man first, and maybe they'll upgrade the zone if they get to it. But the slot corners tend to upgrade both. So what we're going to do here, we're going to change our friend over here to a safety. Well, you can change him in any position. We're just going to change him to safety, and then we're going to come over here and move him back. He converts to a hybrid safety. Keep that in mind. Hybrid safeties, obviously the worst safety in the game when it comes to actually developing. Attribute wise, they're pretty good. Let's convert him back over to cornerback and expect his overall to drop. Why? Because he's changing archetypes. He's now going to be a slot corner. Let's look at our guy. He's down here at an 80 overall in the top right, but now he's a slot tendency. Okay, well, we did that for a man corner. Well, guess what? Let's also do that for a zone corner as well. Jalen Ramsey. Let's change him. He's a zone corner, man coverage 80, zone coverage 94, and he's an 84 overall zone corner. Well, let's do the same exact process, man. Same exact process. We're going to change him over to a safety. And all we're going to do is move him back over to corner once we move him to safety. And now he'll convert to a slot corner. So when you do this change during this screen right here, it actually changes their tendencies almost every single time. It's like a default tendency. Their default tendency for corner is slot. And we come over here, where's our guy Jalen? His overall likely has dropped. So his overall goes down from an 84 to an 82. Not that big of a jump, but his tendency is now a slot. And like I said, we know about the slots. They're going to develop better. So man coverage, cheap. It only costs 2 to upgrade the man, and the zone is already in a great spot. So 91 on the zone, man coverage at the 77, but it only costs 2 coins to upgrade that thing. That thing is super cheap, man. And the zone coverage costs 4. We don't care about the zone. The zone can stay right there. I don't want it to go up anymore. I want him to focus on what he's not good at to become a well-rounded player. And you get an opportunity for the press coverage to go up as well, man, which is amazing. We love that. Love every bit of that. So now you could do this with young guys. You could do this with sophomores, whatever. I wouldn't recommend doing it with a senior because it's just going to change their tendency, and the senior is done developing. They're not going to get much better. You know, they don't have any more off-season trainings. But one thing to note with safety, their default, I guess, archetype, if you want to call it, is hybrid safety. So you see when we move the corner to hybrid to safety, they turn into hybrids every single time. And that's the worst archetype. So you can't do this method with a safety, but you can do it with a safety moving to corner. And we know You know, even if you want to play that safety at corner, they'll develop if you move them over to corner. Just start them at safety, and they'll get higher, and overall they continue to get better. So just keep that in mind. I switched over here to our Chaney file, man, and just because I wanted worse players. With the Georgia team, we got nothing but good players. Here we got 2 stars, man. We just did this rebuild, go tap in video dropped the other day. Great rebuild video, but the point is, you come over here, we have outside linebackers. Let's now cover this position. We got 2 stars that's maxed out. He's a pass coverage archetype. Well, if we change his tendency, his overall will go down and it'll leave more room for him to grow, but his attributes won't drop, if that makes sense. Y'all see, man. Attributes will not move, but his overall will move down, allowing him to grow more. So if we change him just over the middle linebacker, and then we just move him back over to the outside linebacker, his overall is going to shoot up or shoot down, but like I said, he'll have more opportunity to actually grow. And let's look here. When you move in the middle, they convert to a field general. His pass rush ability, the only thing, like I said, he was maxed out before. Pass rush, the only thing that now be upgraded. Well, if we move him back to outside linebacker, he will now convert to a power rusher, which is an archetype he is not familiar with, so he goes down a lot. He's at a 72 overall, but attributes do not move. Attributes do not move. The only thing that might move is awareness, but now he could get better as a player with the same exact attributes, if that makes sense, man. He could get better. Attributes did not move. Now the coverages could go higher. The pass rush could get higher. He could become an elite pass, maybe not elite. He's a 2-star player, but he become a much better pass rusher, and it's cheap for these guys, man. And you see in the top right corner, he has coins to use. He has coins to use, so he's going to automatically upgrade. He was maxed out. Like, he could not get any better. He just had coins laying around because he couldn't use them on nothing. So you could also do it in like situations like this as well. So moving over to D tackle, we have a run stopping defensive tackle. He's a 75 over on the top right corner. You press triangle on him, and you see he's a normal development, 2-star obviously. But you see the only thing he could get better at is finesse moves and power moves. Super expensive. It costs 5 for the power moves to go up, and is at a 50. He will never be a great pass rusher, you would think. Finesse moves only add an 82, which is good, but no, it costs 9. It's super expensive for it to go up. Well, what if we change his tendency from run stopper to power rusher? It might look a little different. His attributes going to stay exactly the same, but his archetype will now be changed, and it'll cost essentially less for him to get better at rushing the passer. And that helps everyone. You know, that helps everyone, man. He is clearly the wrong archetype, as he's a run stopper with 82 finesse moves. That don't even make sense. He's clearly the wrong archetype. So in this situation, his overall may go up, and it does not. It goes down. He's converted to a power rusher, but you come in here and look at his attributes, and now he could get a lot better. The power moves is now prioritized. The reason it's overall shot down because he's a power rusher with 50 power moves, which is not ideal. But now his power moves will go up a lot, and it only costs 1 instead of 5. Now he get much stronger. He could also, his IQ could go up a lot. Finesse moves maxed out. We are fine with that. We're fine with that, man. And then also now his run stopping ability could get even better because overall went down, but like I said, his archetype changed, but his attributes didn't move, man. Overall is all dependent on your archetype. So you could have an 80 overall blocking tight end. If you change him to a vertical threat tight end, his overall might go down to a 60 because he's not good at that archetype. So you'll have some players trapped into the wrong archetype, and you'll have some players that's in the archetype maxed out. Well, if you just change his archetype, he has the opportunity to get better. So with your D-line, all of these D linemen are able to transition to power rushers, man. We have a great D lineman for a 2-star. His true overall, we'll be looking at 86 true overall speed rushing defensive lineman. And he's a pretty good player for us, man. Very good players for us in this series. You look at his attributes here, maxed out, speed rusher. Well, what if we move him to a power rusher? Maybe he could get better. Let's go ahead and move him. So we move him over to power rusher. His overall goes down only 1. Not that big of a deal. 1 overall difference. But now he could get a lot better as a finesse rusher. He was maxed out there. He could also get a little bit better with the awareness. So, and he has 18 skill points to use in the top right corner. So like skill points are just being wasted, man. So you might be thinking, why would I ever do this? Why would I want my guy to get worse? You know, hopefully y'all not thinking that and y'all actually see the vision. But if you are thinking that, think of it like this. This 86 overall player was probably not getting drafted anyway, man. I had an 88 overall D lineman in this series that put up 20 sacks, didn't get drafted. He's an 86 overall. He was maxed out as an 86, and he was maxed out. Like, why wouldn't we convert his tendency? And his overall would drop a little bit, but he was never getting drafted anyway. But now his attributes are actually going to be better because he's developing more, man. And then also, if you have a guy that's super good, going to get drafted year 3, you could also change his tendency. It'll drop his overall, and then he's able to get better at other things while his overall is lower, and he's no longer going to go to the NFL maybe until his senior year. So that's one thing to think about as well, man. If you have a super good guy, just change his tendency. You can do this method, change his tendency, and now he'll convert into a different type player. Still be very good. End game will be super useful. These stats are not changing. I'm trying to stress that to y'all. The only thing is really changing is their tendency. I hope y'all understanding this. We're breaking down every single position. Next is going to be the O-line, man. And we have a power O-lineman, 82 overall, top right corner. You look at him, he's a 3-star normal. He's maxed out at the, 82 overall we said? Correct. Well, guess what? We are going to change Peter's archetype, and he will now no longer be maxed out. Attributes will stay the same, but instead, he will be able to get better. He'll convert to a pass blocker or pass protector, I believe is the technical name for it. Overall drops by a lot because he's not good at pass blocking. You can also do this just to make guys well-rounded. So, you know, he's already good at running the ball, pass rushing, pass blocking, whatever. Now you could make him a solid, maybe not elite. He is a, normal development bust, whatever. He could become solid at pass blocking, man. So now he's no longer capped, but attributes are still the same for the run blocking, man. Attributes did not go down. Like I said, the only thing that ever will drop sometimes is the awareness from what I noticed. That's the only thing that will ever drop when you move these guys around. Attributes stay the same, but now he can become a better pass blocker. And like I said, the overall did drop. Overall did drop a lot. And if you don't want to do that, don't. But like I said, for some applications, this is very useful to do. Tight end is another super easy one, man. If you have a vertical threat tight end, this is game changing. If you have a possession tight end, game changing, man. You could convert them to blocking tight ends, which is, we know, they develop the best. So this guy, 70 overall without the boost. Well, when we just move him over to another position and move him back, he's now going to convert to a blocking tight end. Of course, his overall is going to drop, as expected, man. His overall will drop because that's not what he's used to. And now we could actually have him develop to be a very good tight end and still have the speed, the catching ability. So that's why this is game changing for vertical threat and possession tight ends, because now you could have fast tight ends that could catch the ball and actually develop to become actually good players. You see here, he was maxed out before. Now he's no longer. Now, is it that big of a difference? No. This is a guy with some pretty bad skill caps, but you got 19 coins in that top right corner that wasn't being used anyway, and it's worth doing. Now, I won't go over quarterback and running back and receiver because y'all should get it by now. I will tell y'all what they convert to. Receivers will convert to a deep threat. If you have a physical receiver maxed out and you want him to continue to get better, feel free. Physical receiver maxed out as 77 true overall. Yep, 77. You want to convert him to a deep threat receiver where his overall is going to drop, stats going to stay the same, or attributes going to stay the same, but he now could get better as a deep threat receiver. You could fully do that. You could do that. Running back, they convert to receiving backs. You could convert any running back to a receiving back. If you have a power back maxed out, a elusive back maxed out, a elusive back that's 95 overall, and you want to drop his overall so he don't go pro, change him to a receiving back. His overall might only go down to 90, and now you could convince him to come back for a senior year or whatever that situation is. Quarterback, they changed into scrambling quarterbacks, which is the worst archetype when it comes to developing. Obviously, They're not horrible, but they just don't develop as fast as the field generals and improvisers. So just keep that in mind, man. You can't, unfortunately, I wish you could change a scrambler to a field general. That'd be cheating. That'd be absolutely cheating if you could have a scrambling quarterback with elite speed actually develop throwing the ball, but EA decided not to do that one. Or we just haven't figured it out yet. But I hope y'all understood this concept, man. I'm going to explain it once again. Like I said, it's dropping their overall, but not their actual attributes. Their tendency is being changed, not their actual attributes. That's why their overall is dropping. So it's a couple different applications for this, man. If you have guys that's going to go pro and you want to drop their overall a little bit, might be a little cheesy. Okay, if you don't want to do it, fine, don't do it. But if you have guys want to go pro, drop their overall a little bit by changing their tendency, and now they're able to get better at something else, and you could delay them going pro for a year. If you just have a guy that's maxed out, that's not going to go pro anyway, you just want to get more out of him, change his tendency, and now he could get better at another position, another archetype, whatever. Especially if you have guys with just coins laying around. Like a couple of times we showed in this video where they just got coins laying around, nothing to spend them on, just change their tendency. They'll spend them coins instantly and get better with the same exact attributes, man. So very useful if you know what you're doing here, man. If y'all enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if y'all want me to go deeper in this, further explain it, or tap into the ebook/membership. It's on there. Other than that, we on to the next one. Appreciate y'all, boys. Click the video on the screen now for me rebuilding the first HBCU, Cheney University. It was a tough one.